President Trump is going to be declaring the opioid epidemic health emergency. And I think that's a good thing. However, I want to ask the question, how comes back in the early 80s or the middle 80s, 90s, it was never declared that the crack epidemic was a health emergency? Folks, this is what privilege looks like. This is what keeping some people above others look like. The people who are that are addicted to opioids, they commit crimes to get their drugs. They do all the same things the people who are on crack do to get their drug, to get their fix. But one is treated as a health hazard. The other one is treated as a criminal offense. Those are the types of issues that maintain the status quo in this country. These are the types of issues that maintains racism. Because if it's codified within people's minds that an opioid addiction is something that is health related, but a crack addiction is something that is criminally related. And if it is that people of color do more crack than they do opioids, and those numbers I don't know for a fact, but that's just for illustrative purposes, it tells you that those who see these two conditions will look at it through lens of race. I hope other addictions will be declared a health emergency as well, as opposed to locking people up for marijuana or locking people up, which, by the way, disproportionately locks up people of color in as much as they don't do more drugs than white people. So I think it is very important for us to see that public policy also has an effect, people's views on race. Very, very important. Remember, none of these communities of color manufacture neither opioids or crack or all these other drugs. Yet they are overrepresented in jails. They're overrepresented with fines. One of the reasons these epidemics are afflicting now the white communities is that finally, because of the suppressive nature, the extractive nature of our economics, the evil nature of our economy has finally reached a new group in the aggregate, that is, of course. And that is the behavior between all groups now we see are the same. Medication, self-medication to feel better when things are simply not going right. Whereas communities of colors in the aggregate were over-medicated again because of the conditions that they're in, because of our economy. These conditions are now permeating the majority population. And folks, it only gets worse from here. So we better get on board the progressive movement that is looking out for the average person, irrespective of who they are.